Right. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to today's session that's on Party Smart with Diabetes. So today we'll be discussing more practical strategies for individuals with diabetes on how they can, make sure that, they're managing the sugar levels in a social gathering. So to start off with this session, and the first point is more based on alcohol. Right. So alcohol consumption is it's quite there in every social gathering, right? So it depends on the alcohol consumption will depend on your blood sugar levels and how you can take these blood sugar, make sure that blood sugar levels are under control. So one thing is really important to understand is that whether it is alcohol consumption or the meals that you're taking in. So the response of your meal and your alcohol consumption in bodies, in everybody's bodies is different, right? So it varies. So remember that, even alcohol will depend, the response of alcohol in your body will also depend on, different individuals differently. So one thing we need to understand is that alcohol can cause both hypoglycemia as well as hyperglycemia. So when we're talking about hypoglycemia, that is low blood sugar levels. So this happens mostly if you're taking alcohol and you're not taking alcohol with your food. You're taking it on an empty stomach. So it is really important that you monitor your blood sugar levels and make sure that you're drinking very slowly. And coming to hyperglycemia, hyperglycemia mostly happens because alcohol has carbohydrate content in them, so they increase the sugar levels. So it is always better that whenever you're talking about alcohol, you have these alcohol drinks with your food, right? And also do make sure that you're taking it in moderation. So when I'm talking about moderation, correct. Moderation basically means that you're having, as ADA has suggested, men can have two drinks per day, and women can have one drink per day. So this is moderation. So ensure that you're not taking excessively as well. So another reason why you should not take it in excess, or you should take it with or you should not take it on an empty stomach, is that alcohol, the effect of alcohol, right? It's quite similar to the symptoms of hypoglycemia. So they're both very closely related, the symptoms. So you do not know, you will not understand whether the symptoms are because of the alcohol intake or because of hypoglycemia. Hypoglycemia can be a medical emergency. So a few of the symptoms are like feeling dizzy, blurry vision, increased heart rate. It could also be feeling lethargic, sleepiness. All of these things, slurred speech, all of these things are quite common in both when you're drinking as well as for hypoglycemia. So this is why you have to make sure that moderation is there, and the effect of alcohol in your blood, it remains for up to 12 hours. So that can also affect your blood sugar control. Right. So do ensure that moderation is taken under consideration, moderate quantities, and also you can opt for very low calorie alcohol. So you can have light beers, you can have dry wines. You can also make sure that you're including alcohol with some amount of water. You can mix it in some water, right? Dilute it. But try to avoid more of sugary drinks. If there are any cocktails, it's being the alcohol is mixed with soda or any sort of juices or anything else, kindly avoid that. All right. And another most important common point is that alcohol can contribute to dehydration. So stay hydrated, because dehydration also can cause fluctuations in your blood glucose levels, which is something that we do not want, right? These fluctuations can in the long term, they will cause you more complications. So do ensure that you go for water right, mostly, and pair it up. You can have some alcohol, make sure you're hydrating with water or some other non-alcoholic beverage, another any sugar-free beverages, or you can just have some sparkling water, some flavored sparkling water. This can also be fine if you want to replace the alcohol. All right. And now coming to how you can navigate the buffet system. So the parties that you go to, correct, you might have a buffet, you might not have a buffet, but in case there is a buffet, what you need to pay attention to more is your portion size, right? You need to be very mindful of your portion sizes. So pay attention to the amount of food that you will be consuming. So you can better control your carbohydrate when you're taking some help with your visual cues. So visual cues is what's something you see and then you eat it, right? So if you're choosing a smaller plate and if you're choosing a small bowl, right, this will help you to make sure that it will look like a lot of food is piled up on your plate. So you'll also make sure that you finish it, but you will not overeat. So do ensure that you're choosing a smaller plate or a smaller bowl, and eat your salads first, right? Salads, they have lots of fiber, and fiber is something that will help manage your glucose spikes. So they have lots of fiber. They create, mesh kind of network, right, in your gut, and it will slow down the absorption of glucose in your body. So do ensure that salad is the first thing that you're picking up when you're going for a buffet style of, any event or any social gathering. All right. And now coming back to sweets, right? I think more of our parties, our social gatherings, they do have lots of desserts. So what I would suggest is, instead of going and consuming just desserts which has large amount of sugars are simple carbohydrates. They get broken down quite easily, and they get digested and absorbed in the body quite easily, right? So to avoid excessive spikes in your sugars, kindly cut back on it. You can opt for any sugar-free option if that is available. If there is any naturally sweetened alternatives, like any fruit-based dessert that you want to take, there's no excessive sugar in it, you can take that as well. Also, if you can choose desserts that are low in carbohydrate and higher in the fiber content, you can opt for that as well. So this is in case these are the options that are available in the buffet. If not, what I would suggest is either you completely avoid it, right? Or you can have it in a very small quantity, right? Make sure it's just for, making sure that, you get that hint of taste of, that sweetness, but that is it. Kindly don't overdo it when it comes to, your desserts. All right. And also, I think the next thing that we really need to understand is, in case this is not a buffet style of party, and it's a party that is, either hosted by your friends or your family, or it is, hosted by yourself, right? How can you make sure that, you're making sure that, your plate has, more of nutrient-rich food than of, just carbohydrate food, right? So do ensure that you are including high protein food, right? So when I'm talking about high protein food, it does not mean you just have to eat protein. You have to just balance that out. So protein plays a very important role in managing your sugar levels. So what it really does is that when you're pairing up your protein with your carbohydrate, it will lower down that the glycemic load of that particular meal, right? It means that your sugar levels will not spike up later on. So include protein in your meals because they also slow down the absorption of your carbohydrates, your glucose, right? Carbohydrates, and usually after they get digested, they become glucose, right? So pair up your protein with carbohydrates. They will absorb the carbohydrates. They'll slow down its absorption, and whatever your sugar spikes will be, they will also prevent it from rapidly spiking up. So ensure that you're opting for your lean meat. So when I'm talking about lean meat, for both vegetarian and non-vegetarian sources, you can bring in your poultry, right? Skinless poultry, you can get it. You can bring your chicken, your egg. If you want to bring in your fish, you can bring in that. You can also bring in legumes, your lentils, your legumes, you can bring in that. You can bring in the soya products. You have soya chunks, you have tofu. You can also bring in paneer, right? But do ensure that, whatever items that you will be getting, ensure that, these are not, the fried items. You can get, something grilled, like, paneer tikka, you can have grilled chicken, all of these things, tandoori chicken, all of these things, you can bring it in your plate. Right. So be very mindful on what you're choosing when it comes to, your protein sources as well. All right. And also follow the plate method. It is quite easier to understand, right? It is quite very simple. If you just start making this a habit in your house as well, even when you're going outside to any restaurant, or if you're going for any parties, it will make it easier for you to, make sure that, you're eating your meal in a balanced method. Right. So plate method is where you will be filling up your half of your plate with your vegetables. So whatever vegetables, non-starchy vegetables, you can bring it in. Please bring those in. All right. So half of your plate will be your vegetables. Your quarter plate will be your protein source. Any protein source can be brought in over there, and the remaining quarter that is there, that is for your carbohydrate. Any grain, your rice, your chapati, anything at all that is available over there as a carbohydrate, you can bring that in for the last quarter of your plate. That's just 25% of your plate, right? And once you've made your plate, you can start practicing meal sequencing. Right. So meal sequencing, it's quite easy to follow. It's where, you're eating your food in a certain order, in a certain sequence. Right. First, you will be eating your fiber, then you will go for your protein, and then you will go for your carbohydrate. So doing this, right, what happens is your fiber and your protein, they will make sure that, you're satiated for a very long time. You'll not get hungry very early, right? And ensure, you're eating it slowly. You eat your meal slowly. You savor each bite so that, you don't feel like eating anything else after that. Right. And also, if you're pairing this up with your alcohol, you can do that as well, because, the sugar spikes will not be higher, and the alcohol also, there will not be a major side effects of that as well. Right. So you will not be, so your nervous system also, because alcohol is a nervous depressant, right? So do ensure that, you have a balanced plate and you follow your meal sequencing. All right. And it's not just the food, right? Every single, liquid that you're taking in, that also has calories. So most of the liquids, they tend to have higher glycemic index, and they'll also cause, a lot of negative impact on your blood sugar levels. So if you want to reduce your liquid calorie intake at parties, what you can do is you have to just opt for healthier choices. This is all in your hands, right? So make sure you're opting for healthier choices. So you can choose water as your primary beverage throughout the night. All right. With that, you can take in a couple of other non-alcoholic beverages, but do ensure you're avoiding any sugary beverages like your soda, your fruit juices, your mocktails. All of these things, try to keep it at a minimum or completely avoid it. All right. And if you want to drink something, even if you want to, avoid these and drink something that is flavored, right? You can have, if it is available at that particular party, if it is available, like, your infused water, you can have that as well, right? Infused water with, a water with cucumber, water with lemon, or water with, your citrus fruits. You can have that. You can have infused water, your flavored waters, or you can have your sparkling waters. So you will have plain sparkling water. You will also have flavored sparkling water. You can go ahead and take that as well. All right. And with, just these minor changes with, what kind of food you will be selecting at a buffet or, at a party, making just small changes in the way that you're including these in your meal plate, and the way you are pairing up your food, this is something that will, help with, managing your blood sugar levels much better. All right. Right. And now, since, it's better to have a proper foundation, throughout the day. If you're going out for a party, right? If you know, right, you have a party to go to, or if there's a social gathering, anything at all, right? Having some pre-party preparation will help set a proper foundation for not just, making sure you're eating healthy, you're staying healthy, but also to, you make sure that, your blood sugar management is not going haywire, right? So the first thing that you can do is, check your blood sugars, right? Really, really important that before you go to any event, please check your blood sugar levels, so that, if it is high, you will know what adjustments are needed. If it is low, what you need to do, because hypoglycemia will cause you more issues than hyperglycemia, right? And in case if you want to make any adjustments to your medication or your insulin based on your blood sugar levels at that point, before going to your party, please connect with your doctor. It is really important that, you speak to your doctor about it before you by yourself start making any changes in the dosage. All right. And like I said, if you're going to a party, if it is hosted by your friend or your family, please communicate with them, right? Tell them, about your needs. If you're a person who has diabetes, ask them if they can provide you with, a list of, just dishes that, are there. Because in case if most of these dishes do have the potential to increase your sugar spikes, what you can do is, if you're going to a friend or a family's party, you can prepare something from your side and take it there as well, right? You can offer that. You can offer a very diabetes friendly dish as well, right? That can be done. And if you're the one who's hosting, the party, what you can do is communicate with your caterer, or if you're cooking at home, or you have a caterer, please communicate with them. And whatever is your preferred, dietary needs, please make sure that you're including that as well, right? And also ensure that throughout the day, right, before the party, throughout the day, you have to eat mindfully every single meal. If you're going out for a party, for like an evening party, that is during the dinner time, your breakfast and lunch, and in between the snacks that you're taking, eat very mindfully. Make sure all of your meals are properly balanced, right? You have your whole grains, you have your vegetables, you have your protein. Ensure all of these things are there. And do make sure that, you're not going hungry to the party. In case something has happened, I'm pretty sure sometimes it does happen, you're so engaged in your busy schedules, could be anything related to your housework, could be anything related to your job. If you miss out on your meal, what you can do is kindly, just grab, handful of nuts and have, a bowl of salad. So at least doing this, will give you a little bit of sustenance before going to the party. Do not show up to a party hungry. Do not show up to a party with, skipping meals and not eating food, because this will end up causing, low blood sugar levels. And hypoglycemia is something that, you have to keep on checking your blood sugar levels again and again, until and unless, it is, going above the normal range. So when I say the normal range, if your blood sugar levels are falling below 70 mg per dl, you have to ensure that, there is that, you try to bring it up at least to 70 mg per dl. So these are all in your hands. So make sure that, medications are there with you. Make sure that, you're checking your blood sugar levels before the party, during the party also, if you can check, that is also great. And if you can check after the party, after you've reached home, make sure that, you're keeping an eye on your blood sugar levels. And also another most important point is that, with attending parties, you don't just have to be mindful of your meals. You also need to be mindful of your medications as well. So take it as prescribed as your doctor has asked you to. In case you think your blood sugars are, higher, you've just checked your blood sugar levels, after, indulging in the party, and your sugar levels are quite high, it's above 200, above 300, do not increase the dosage by yourself. Could be your oral medication, could also be your insulin. Do not increase it until and unless you have spoken to your doctor. Don't make these changes. Do not self-medicate. right? So talk to your doctor about this, discuss with them about, whether you can increase the dosage or what is supposed to be done. And before the party also, it will be, definitely better if you can discuss with your doctor about, the upcoming event that you have, and talk to them about it, talk about the timing of your medication, the dosage of your medication, and how you can navigate around, your medications, around the party schedule with your medications. So always better keep your doctor in loop. All right. And in case you are taking your medications with alcohol, please try to make sure that you don't take it along with your alcohol, right? Because sometimes alcohol and medications together, it can have an adverse effect on your health. It might cause hypoglycemia, right? Sugar levels, to control your sugar levels, you definitely take diabetes medication, and the one major function of it is to ensure that your sugar levels are coming down. So this can cause hypoglycemia. So wherever you're going, whether it's not just for parties, even if you're going just out to your job, or you're just traveling, please carry with you a fast acting carbohydrate. So when I say fast acting carbohydrate, it is mostly, you could carry a tetra pack of your juices, you can carry some candies, you can carry glucose tablets if you can, or glucose powder. Please carry these with you even in the party. Make sure it's with you. You can carry just a small bag of it. All right, so this is something that will help properly navigate hypoglycemia as well. Now, now that we have spoken all about how you can make sure that you eat properly, as well as how you can balance out your medication as well when it comes to parties, though it is an opportunity for for people to go and enjoy, socialize with others, they can also sometimes lead you to deviations from your regular routine, right? A regular routine of trying to keep your blood sugar in control, right? So do ensure that you have to if you have to get back on track, you don't have to do anything extra, right? There are people who think that if I have indulged in the party last night, so today I'll follow something more more severe, more strict in terms of my diet, in terms of my physical activity. Make sure you're not doing all of these, right? Just one thing that you have to do is monitor your blood sugar levels. If it is well under control, that is really great. But in case if your sugar levels are high or low, this will also give you help you to assess your your blood sugar control, right? What can you do, what can you not do throughout the day, or throughout the the next 2 days? What can you do, what can you not do, right? So this is in terms of your diet as well as your the other lifestyle factors, right? So do ensure that you monitor your blood sugar levels in the upcoming days, and resume your routine. So when I say resume your routine, just go back to whatever you used to follow before the party, right? Even your meal timings, your meal schedules. If you were eating your breakfast is 9 a.m., make sure you just have your breakfast at 9 a.m. Regarding your meals, regarding your snacks, have a very balanced plate when it comes to that as well, because eating, making sure that you have a healthier eating habits, and balanced meal, this is something that will help you more on managing your sugar levels. All right. If you're thinking of doing something extra, like eliminating a certain food, like you will not eat carbohydrates, this is not healthy, right? So to make sure you resume your normal routine, and stay active. You don't have to engage in excessive physical activity, because we have also seen few people, they tend to think that since I've indulged in lots of calories yesterday, instead of walking 30 minutes like I usually do, I'll walk for 1 hour, right? Or instead of spending just 45 minutes in the gym, I'll spend 2 hours. So this is something very excessive. This is something that is not required. All you need to do is go for your regular physical activity. If you were walking 30 minutes before, you can walk 30 minutes now as well. All right. So this is something, physical activity definitely helps with, improving your insulin sensitivity. So 150 minutes in a week, make sure that you're being very physically active. You can do moderate intensity exercises, or you can just do your strength training. So whatever you're comfortable with, continue on doing that. And coming to the point of hydration again, right? Hydration, the more you drink water, the more it will help, flush out the toxins that are there in your body. And apart from that, the next day, if you're hydrating really well, what you can see is that, drinking lots of plenty of water, it is also going to, make sure that, do not overeat, right? It suppresses your appetite. So you will not eat lot of food. So ensure that, you hydrate really well so that, the toxins are flushed out, and also you do not overeat the next day, right? And the fifth point is to limit your processed food and sugary snacks. So after indulging at parties, it's really important that, the intake of processed food is as minimum as possible, because these processed foods can increase your blood sugar levels, because they do have additives to, give you that sweetness. So they do have artificial sweeteners in it. So do ensure that, you are eating, you're opting more for homemade snacks rather than, the outside processed snacks. All right. And going ahead after the party, for, the upcoming week, just make sure that, you're planning your meals properly. Make sure all of your meals are, a balance of carbohydrate, fiber from your vegetables, as well as your protein. All right. So also make sure that, there's healthy fat as well. So this is something that will help you with, getting back on track to, controlling your blood sugar levels. Now, I think this is a question that everybody asks. Should I go on a detox or a party after a vacation, right? After indulging in parties, right, people, if you're wondering if you have to go for a detox diet or for, these cleanses, I would recommend, I would say that, don't go for it, because detox diets or cleanses, these are made popular, on social media by the influencers. This is something that, you should not go for. This is not a long-term sustainable method to, help with your glucose management, especially for people who have diabetes, right? Detox diet, these cleanses, they involve severe calorie restrictions. They also have, something to, just consume a specific juice or some specific supplement that will help you get back on track. So that is not the thing. That is not something that will help you. This is quite harmful for people who have diabetes, because it can cause imbalance in your blood sugar levels, right? So instead of going on a detox diet, please kindly focus on, adopting more of a balanced and a sustainable eating plan, right? So emphasize more on, your whole foods. Bring in your whole grains, make sure they're unprocessed, make sure, you have lots of vegetables, proteins, healthier fats. So these are the things that, that will help stabilize your blood sugar levels, not a detox diet, right? And but be very mindful of, the portion sizes. Do not eat a lot, right? If you're overly full, don't go and eat. Just make sure you're satisfied, your stomach is satisfied, your hunger is satisfied, and just make sure you're stopping the meal there, right then and there. All right. And yeah, and processed food as well, limit your processed food. They have, high amount of refined carbohydrates, they have sodium, they have, unhealthy fats, they have lots of sugar as well. So do ensure that, your focus is not on, your processed food, but more on what you can, use at home. Yeah. And, make sure that you make your meals and snacks out of that, right? So you don't have to go on any detox. All right, just remember that maintaining a healthy diet and a healthy lifestyle, it is a long-term commitment. It is not a short-term commitment. So instead of focusing on going on a detox diet, which is a short-term plan for you, just make sure that, you're prioritizing more of your sustainable changes, to your overall diet and your lifestyle. So this is how you can, help manage your, your diabetes, along with, making sure that you have fun and, you socialize in your events or parties. All right. And I hope if anybody has any questions, I hope that, you have, you put that up in the comment section so that we can take it up. Right. Right. Prema, ma'am, so when we're talking about medication, like I said, if your doctor has mentioned you to take it before meals, please take it before meals. If it is after meals, you can take it after meals. So this is something you should have a talk with your doctor. All right. Definitely. So Varun Sharma's source question is his HbA1c levels are 7.2 with average sugar of 160. So I'm assuming the average sugar is your fasting sugar levels. It definitely can be, it can be brought down, it can be reduced. 7.2 is quite high. Right. So yes, it can be contained, but as long as you're following a proper, sustainable choices when it comes to, your diet and your lifestyle. Right, Senthil sir. So when we're talking about low GI meals, right? So this is something that what you need to focus on is that every single meal will have carbohydrate, right? We might have, if you're South Indian, you might know that we might have rice, we might have roti, or we might have any millet-based roti, or you can have ragi balls, or all of these sorts. All of these have carbohydrates. So if you want to decrease the glycemic load of the meal, right? There's no glycemic index of the particular foods, right? So if you want to decrease the glycemic index of the particular meal, whatever you're taking could be, your dosa with your chutney or palya. It could be your idli with chutney and sambar. It could be just your roti and some sabzi. If you want to decrease the glycemic load, bring in lots of vegetables and bring in lots of protein. So like I said, follow the plate method. So you have half of your plate filled with vegetables and quarter of your plate filled with protein, and the remaining quarter is filled with your carbohydrate. So doing this will actually, whether it's South Indian, North Indian, it will definitely help with reducing the glycemic load of your glycemic load of your meal. Right. And yes, Senthil sir, coming back to your another part of the question, and how to control hunger in late dinner, right? So in case anybody is, getting hungry after your meals, or if there is any sort of craving, these things only happen if you do not have, if your meal does not have fiber or protein. So there is an imbalance in your meal. So if you're getting a proper balanced meal where you have both protein and fiber along with your carbohydrate, where carbohydrate is in the moderate quantity, then you will definitely not get these hunger pangs. You'll definitely not get these cravings. So do ensure that you follow. One is your plate method. Second is your meal sequencing. Shama Gupta, definitely, if you want to, mix plain soda with water, yes, you can. But again, when we are talking about soda, they do have lots of sugar. So I would say you can go for, like your diet cokes. That is fine, but just make sure that the consumption of it is taken in a moderate quantity. All right. So, Shama Gupta, sir, like I mentioned, it could be any alcoholic beverage that you're taking in, but for men, the recommended allowance is 2 drinks per day, and for women, it's 1 drink per day. So, in case if you're taking beer, you can have 135 ml of beer, right? And if you're taking wine, you can have it about, say, 200 to 300 ml of wine. And if you want to go for any of the liquor, the hard liquors, just make sure that they are not, that 1 drink is just 45 ml, not more than that. All right. So just make sure that when it comes to your alcohol, please make sure that, you eat something before, like a salad. You can have something protein rich, and then you can go and make sure you sip your alcohol very slowly so that your sugar levels will not increase. But stick to that recommended allowance. Don't go above that. All right. Malik Rao, sir. So, when we're talking about what is the reason of hypoglycemia, if your sugar levels are going down, there can be multiple reasons, right? So, it depends. If you're skipping meals, if you are not having enough of, proper balanced meal, that can be another reason. It could also be environmental factors as well. Stress can also cause your blood sugars to go low. If there's a mismatch of your medication dosage, there are multiple reasons of your blood sugar to go down. If there's any specifics, sir, please do let us know in the comment section. Yogesh sir, so if you're at the borderline of your sugar levels, this can come down, right? Because you have more of scope with more of your scope, more scope of bringing your sugar levels down, right? So just ensure that you have more of say for example, you have more of vegetables in your meals. Make sure you have protein. It's not just in one meal. Make sure it's there in every single meal. All right. And yes, Shama Gupta ma'am, right. So unsweetened soda, yes, you can take it, right. So do ensure that when it comes to unsweetened soda as well, we to make sure that you read the labels first in case if there's added sugars written in the labels, but they sometimes promote it as sugar free. So check your labels first before purchasing any unsweetened soda. And if you want to include some water, or if you want to include some sparkling water into that, you can have that as well. And if there are any more questions, I can see some people have asked in Hindi, but there was not specified if any questions were in Hindi. So if there's any specific questions in Hindi, you can let us know in the comment section. Right. Another question, I think Shama Gupta sir, vodka versus whiskey, right? Both of these are liquors, right? So do ensure that you take just 2 drinks of it per day, right? Not more than that. So one drink would be just 45 ml, right? So just 2 drinks, not more than that. And do ensure that you're carrying something with yourself in case if there is an episode of hypoglycemia or low blood sugar levels. Do ensure that you're carrying any fast acting carbohydrate with you. Could be just a packet of glucose tablets or sugar, anything at all. You can carry this, as well as what you can do is hydrate yourself a lot. All right. 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 So if you are, so thank you so much for joining us for the session on how to party smart with diabetes. We hope you found these strategies more helpful to, navigate any social gathering or any parties, right? While also trying to make sure that, you're managing your diabetes effectively as well. So just remember that, you are planning ahead with before going to a party, and be mindful of your portion sizes. Make sure that you have a very balanced meal, and make healthier choices, make sustainable choices. And these are the couple of things that will help you out a lot with managing your sugar levels. Thank you so much.